Hello, this is Tim, and this is going to be the Tyrian government for my Hexworld world building project. Now, as I've mentioned before, this hex isn't entirely of my making. I really just kind of put the patchwork and finished up the steps that the creator didn't finish. Something that he wanted, in his own words, are as follows. I think for a government, something along the lines of an autocracy or dictatorship might work. But I can also see a communist government making everyone work equally hard for the benefit of all, though it seems to always benefit the ones at the top the most. Basically, he wanted something that made the workers work, even those few and rare times when they didn't want to. Sort of like forced like labor camps, almost like prison lockdown, where they crank out products and items, and then they're kind of let free for a couple of days on the festival days. That was his main idea. He liked the whole idea that like a very just destructive, hellish party, and then just hellish work during the month. But the breakdown of the government, as you can see in the image, it's the leader or leader. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. It's basically the dictator at the top. All the official decisions are made by him, unless he or she appoints one of the Rade, R-A-D-E, to do it for him. Those are kind of the council members below. Leaders normally appoint the next ruler at the moment they are giving office. This does not have to be any family relation to them. It can be anyone that's done them favors in the past. So it is largely who you know when you're to be given the title of leader. There have been probably some dynasties in the past where it is handed down to sons, but that isn't necessarily the case. The next group is the Raid. They are the top cabinet members, sometimes called the council that helps the leader make his or her decisions. They're always looking to work together to kind of get on the good side of the leader. So there are semi-frequent accidents to fellow members of the council, which in turn has a power vacuum, and other people can come into the council, usually friends or associates of them. So there's definitely some politics going in with these different groups of government agencies. The Raid can only suggest things to the leader. They hold no official power, other than being above the average 10 people in the other classes. There are always 12 members in the Raid. The goal of the Raid is to ensure that the government fulfills all of the needs of the people and to crush violently any opposition to this viewpoint. They are charged with the mission to seek out any would-be rebellions and to basically kill their leaders and re-educate, in quotes, the followers of these rebels. So some of this re-education can be downright deadly and horrible, and sometimes when the Tynds come out of these re-education camps, they are basically a shadow of who they once were, and they really just live almost, I don't know, kind of like a zombie-like existence. Anyone that opposes the viewpoint of the government is considered a heretic, as the government is said to have been laid down by the god Narek. So if that's the case or not, no one really knows. It's just what everybody thinks. The next group is the Samling. They are basically the government workers and collectors that basically take from the people that produce and give it back to the people in equal shares. This proves to kind of irritate a lot of people, but in turn they've kind of lived with this for so long that they're used to it. Especially in good years when they produce more than others around them, they have more taken from them. So in some ways this hasn't, I don't know, because they're forced to work. Literally, sometimes by weapon point, things are still produced, but there isn't much motivation other than that. It's mostly by fear that they're motivated. Those with more have more taken away, and those with less are given more. The Samling are accompanied by squads of troops to ensure that the collecting and giving away takes place without any resistance. Any resistance is crushed brutally for an example to others. Again, kind of ruling by fear. The Samling are recruited from the Aberjay, or Arbej? I don't know, I can't pronounce it. I guess it'd probably be Arbej. Those are the average workers, the guys at the bottom. They're the common everyday people. Those that do not share fairly are tortured, imprisoned, or re-educated, in quotes, on the realities of Tynd society and then are returned, like I said, basically a shadow of who they once were. Those that return from re-education, they I don't know, they have a hard time. They don't have a hard time working. They just have a hard time enjoying themselves at all. They're basically just almost like robots. The next group is the soldat. They are the troops that answer only to the dictator, the leader at the top, or when they are ordered to listen to the samling collectors. Basically, there's like 4 classes of people above the average 10 people, the Ardbeg. And the class society is very, it's kind of mixed in with government. So if you want to rise to the top, you really need to get into the government. That's where all the movers and shakers are. That is pretty much all of the government and how it's structured. And I'll see you guys in another video.